The impact of the Fourth Crusade, the first fall of Byzantium. During the Fourth Crusade, feudal lords under the leadership of the Venetian Republic laid siege to Constantinople, conquering the city, and creating the Latin Empire. In the middle of the 11th century, the idea of the Crusades first appeared in Europe. The original goal was the liberation of Jerusalem. In the First Crusade, knights managed to capture Jerusalem in 1099. The city remained in Christian hands until Saladin's conquest in 1187, after which time the Third Crusade was organized. Unsuccessful attempts to restore rule over Jerusalem and the failure of the campaign led to the launch of the Fourth Crusade. This failed crusade would lead not to the reconquest of Jerusalem, but to the siege of Constantinople. Pope Innocent III, a dynamic, ambitious, and educated pope whose pontificate would mark the launch of the Fourth Crusade, ascended the throne of St. Peter's in 1198. Unlike his predecessors, he did not have much help from other European rulers. After the death of Emperor Henry VI, the throne of the Holy Roman Empire remained vacant. Henry left behind his underage son Frederick II, who was soon embroiled in a conflict. The situation was not much better in England, where after a period of captivity in Germany, King Richard the Lionheart returned home from the Third Crusade. Richard had problems with the French King Philip II, who had taken over his territories in Normandy, and consequently, he went to war with France. From the moment he arrived as the head of the church, Innocent planned the Fourth Crusade to raise his profile. The Crusaders intended to attack Egypt, who controlled Jerusalem. Having no money or fleet, they turned to Venice for help. Until the 11th century, the Byzantine Empire was a powerful state, a bulwark of Christianity against Islam. The Byzantines bravely defended themselves until a new threat arrived from the east with the invasions of the Seljuk Turks. Under the rule of the Comnenist dynasty, the empire managed to halt its decline for some time. The policy of family rule proved successful during the reign of Emperor Alexius I and his son John II Comnenus. With the death of Manuel I, however, the problems of the Byzantine Empire resurfaced. Manuel was succeeded by his 11-year-old son Alexius II, who was tragically assassinated by the last emperor of the Comnenist dynasty, Andronicus I. Andronicus in turn was killed by an angry street mob. The new Angelus dynasty did nothing to prevent an unstoppable decline. The first ruler of this dynasty was Isaac II Angelus, 1185 to 1195. The new ruler did not try to prevent abuses during the collection of taxes, nor did he prevent the sale of rank. Isaac's first reign ended in a coup in which he was captured and blinded, while his older brother Alexius III, 1195 to 1203, took power. The situation in the Byzantine Empire and the eve of the Fourth Crusade was catastrophic. No European monarchs responded to the invitation of Pope Innocent III, but he received a response from some Frankish, Flemish, and Italian nobles. Boniface of Montferrat was appointed as the head of the Fourth Crusade, because he was one of the party's most distinguished lords. Crusaders agreed to gather in Venice, and the Venetians agreed they would transport the Crusaders to Egypt for 85,000 silver marks. The Venetian Doge Enrico Dandolo agreed to transport 30,000 soldiers and 4,500 horses to Egypt. It wasn't long before the Crusaders began to realize that they didn't have enough money to pay because a much smaller number of people arrived in Venice than was stipulated in the contract. As a result, the cunning Venetian Doge managed to redirect the goal of the Fourth Crusade. The Venetian Republic, which had recently established trade relations with Egypt, and did not wish to go to war there, but they suggested that the Crusaders take Zara, a Catholic city on the Dalmatian coast, as compensation for the Venetians. When the Crusaders appeared in front of Zara, the population and the garrison let down flags covered with crosses in an effort to save themselves. Nevertheless, the Crusaders occupied the city port and began the siege, and Zara surrendered. The Venetians took over part of the city along the harbor, while the Crusaders took the rest. In Zara, Alexius Angelus, later Alexius IV, the son of the overthrown Byzantine Emperor Isaac II, addressed the soldiers and offered them money to help him regain his throne. Alexius promised to put the Byzantine Church under Roman Catholic rule, to give the Crusaders 200,000 silver marks, and provide them with supplies for a year. He also promised 10,000 additional soldiers to conquer Egypt, and he agreed to finance 500 knights in the Holy Land. Some of the Crusaders strongly opposed further deviations from the road and demanded that they move immediately toward Syria. The rest advocated for the conquest of Constantinople, which would provide them with funds and military support, which would be of great help in the continuation of their campaign.